Hello, I'm Sandra and welcome to class replay.
We are going to use a foam roller, some sort of pillow, yoga pillow, or some sort of cushion. And then, if you have a hand towel, go ahead and grab one. Have your back up against the wall and your feet away a little bit. You want your heels together, toes just very slightly apart. Take your shoulders wide onto the wall. Take your arms back into the wall. And then you're gonna just look forward for your toes to peel your head off. And you're gonna push into the arms to dive forward a tiny little bit so that you can pull the abs in and your low back starts to press into the wall. Then keep your low back pressing into the wall as much as you can and start to restack up the spine until your head goes back up. And then we practice it a few more times, peeling forward. And then restacking the spine back up. Good. 3 more. Grow tall. Like your ears get pulled to the ceiling and then up and over towards the camera. And then you go back. I think there's one more. And then you can either do the same thing that we just did, or if you want to try and go over a little bit more, you'll peel up and you'll scoop through the abs so much that your ribs start to come off the mat, but your low back stays on there as much as it can until your sacrum wants to move. If your sacrum wants to move up the wall, that's as far as you go. Your arms will reach out in front and up, like you're trying to reach up in alignment with your ears. And then stacking up the spine, keeping the arms like this. And then we lift tall, peeling up and over, keeping the low back on the wall as long as you can, until the sacrum wants to start to go up. Keep reaching through the fingertips. Draw the abdomen in as you breathe in, and then stack up the spine to roll up. And exhale. One more time, inhale, grow. Exhale, dive forward. Inhale, draw the abs in. And exhale to go up. And then at the top, you can circle the arms back down. Good. Okay. Let's go on to our backs with your foam roller. Your foam roller is going to be on their long legs. You want to have a hand towel or something that kind of looks like a hand towel sitting at the end of your foam roller. Your head will be at the top. You're going to start by having your nose straight for the ceiling, ribs heavy, sacrum heavy. You'll grab onto your hand towel or a band, just something that you can grab onto about shoulder width apart, making a little bit of a fist so that you can pull it apart lightly to soften your elbows. That might help you get your shoulder blades to take up space behind you. Take a few breaths here. When you breathe in, guide the breath into the back of the rib cage. And when you exhale, let the sternum soften so that it feels like your chest starts to just relax. And if that doesn't make sense, just let me know. Now with your next inhale, both arms are going to reach up overhead behind you as far as you can feel like you would be able to support weight. Then you'll exhale the arms back up. The inhale will take the arms behind you, above you. The exhale brings them up above the chest. You're trying to keep a little bit of that tension the entire time as you reach back. And then keeping weight on the sole of the foot, outside edge, ball of the foot, heel, also on each pad on the toes. 2 more times like this. Once more. Arms to the ceiling. You'll begin opening the arms out to the side, reach through the pinkies and the ring finger, and then back up towards the ceiling. As you open the arms, take up space with your shoulder blades and keep them like that as the arms reach back out to the ceiling. Leading through the elbows, through the humerus, the upper arm bone, and up. 2 more. Once more. Then you're going to open it back out to T, then down towards the hips, pinkies towards the hips. Like you grab onto a bunch of flowers and you toss them up and over you, overhead. Then you open the arms out to gather up more flowers. And then you toss them again. Putting a little bit of weight onto your feet. Apparently we're somewhere really pretty with lots of really light flowers that we can toss around. 3 more times. 2. And once more. Reversing this movement. So now the hands reach down for the hips. Then you open up the arms like you're opening up your wings. Up above you and then in front of you to reach them back down and open. Going to the range that feels best for your shoulders. 3 more times. Last 2. And once more. Once you reach down for the hips, the left arm stays down, the right hand will reach up overhead. Palms will face in, spread through the fingers for marching arms. And switch. The top arm goes as far as it can stay connected to the bottom of the lat. And switch. The bottom hand reaches as low as the shoulder can stay open. And just keep switching your own tempo that feels good to you. 2 more on each side. And then both hands will reach down for the ground. Push into the palms, push the elbows down, feel your chest to open. Walk your feet towards each other at center. And then out a little bit. You're going to feel your sacrum be really heavy on the mat. You can stay here and just push down and feel the glutes engage. Or if you're up to it, you can lift up the right leg. Like a tabletop position, you have to balance as you push through the arms. And then you could stay here, or you could pull that knee in towards you and then reach it away. And then that's as far as we're going to take this one for now. Dun dun dun. It's like a scary story that's coming, but not really. Good. Have your nose straight for the ceiling. You can always look over if needed. And then, back up. Lower that foot down. Reorganize your body so that the legs are connected, arms are pushing down. And then you'll try either staying here or picking up that leg. You could hold it, or you could start pulling the knee in a way. If you feel like you're losing your balance, push more into the palms and the forearms and the feet. When the leg straightens out, engage through the glute. That will help you support the weight of that leg. And then you'll take that leg back down to connect with the other one. We're going to sit up, however you'd like. Once your head is flat on the ground, stay holding onto your foam roller with your hands, even if it's a smaller version of it. Going over to one side with the knees. Your head will go the opposite way. You'll squeeze the top glute to lift that hip up. And then you'll let it roll back down. The head will go up to the ceiling to go over to the other side. Squeeze the opposite glute to lift the hip. And then you lower down. One more to each side. Let's take the foam roller under the knees. Your hands are going to firmly press into the mat. You're going to pull the feet in as close and as tight as you can. For any reason you can't push where it feels like you could possibly lift the foam roller up by squeezing it up against you. Just put something else in between, like another pillow, so that you can feel the back of the leg work. And once you get that, you're going to walk your fingers on top of the foam roller to continue walking over. Tuck your chin in and reach. This will help you stretch a little bit lower in your upper back between the shoulder blades. So it's like your ears lift up and over to the ceiling as your fingers crawl over the foam roller and you lower down. You want to only curl as high as you can. Keep the connection in the back of the legs, squeezing the foam roller in between the heels and the sit bones. This will also help you learn your forward flexion with length, or just strengthen it. And if you're like, I'm done doing that, that's too much for my neck, your hands can go behind the head and you just lift up a few times like this. You would only lift as high as you could keep the heels pulling into the foam roller. Or if you want to switch to this one, you can switch I half. Last two. Once more. Let your spine lengthen, then take your nose for the ceiling like you're trying to look for the back wall, and then your ears get pulled to that back wall. Reach for your foam roller, you lift the hips and roll the foam roller underneath your hips. Your arms can go wide, one leg will go up to tabletop followed by the other one. Then you're going to pull one knee into the chest as the opposite leg lowers down for the ground, and then you'll switch. And again, switch. And switch. So once you're even, you're going to start with the right knee into the chest. Hands grab onto that knee. Elbows are wide, and you just keep them pulling that knee in, and slowly walk your other leg away until it's straight. You can keep it on the ground or you can keep it straight out. Whatever feels best for you works for me. Pulling the knee closer to your chest, the right knee, the elbows more to the side so that your shoulder blades take space up on the mat. Then straightening the left leg for the ceiling, up overhead, and then down towards the opposite wall. Like you're drawing a rainbow with your toes. And over. You are under the rainbow. 3 more. 2. At the top, you're going to bring the leg towards the ceiling and then do little circles. Keeping the other knee in place, the right knee. And then you'll reverse that circle. Then you'll pull the left knee in, grab onto it. Right leg will reach out It can be down towards the mat where you're nice and relaxed, or it can be reaching to the wall where you're pulling the opposite knee in, really standing into that leg. Right leg will start lifting up and overhead, and then back out to the opposite wall, making a rainbow with your foot. You're trying to keep your arms engaged at the top. The leg will reach back up for the ceiling, and then we'll do little circles in one direction, only as far out as the left knee can stay in place. So the size might be different from the other side, and then you reverse. Both knees will pull in. Pull them in tight, elbows wide, and then just go a little bit from side to side. If you lose your foam roller, you can always pull it back underneath you. Hands will reach for the foam roller. If you need to reorganize yourself, I'm going to. And then both legs will be to the ceiling to point and flex the feet. The feet will be together and the knees will be together. Chest is open. Alternate the feet so that the ankles stay together and the ball of the foot alternates. You still want to try and keep your feet really close to each other so that they barely bypass each other. And then the ball of the foot will stay together, alternating the ankles for running. The knees will also switch and alternate. The chest stays open. Both legs will stop at the ceiling, and then you're going to start to let the legs come over the head to where you're comfortable, taking them apart about the width of the shoulders or a little bit wider if you'd like, to go down, together, and up. When the leg's lower, you only go as low as you're comfortable with. If you're wanting to see if you go a little lower, really work on squeezing through the glutes, and that'll help you support the weight of the legs to go back up. Having lots of space for your throat. Start testing out every side circle that you can make. Start with really big circles and do about 3. And then after really big circles, slowly start to make them a little bit smaller until they're really little. I'm going to say take about 8 circles to make them really little. Then you'll reverse the circles, starting small and finishing with 3 big circles. Then once you finish your 3 big circles, both legs will go back up towards the ceiling. You'll point to flex the feet a few more times. And then keep them neutral where they'd like to be. Internally rotate the knees into each other and then turn them apart. Turn the knees into each other and then turn them apart. The knees are soft, the feet are soft, the arms are heavy into the mat. You're lengthening through the neck. 3 more. Knees in, knees out. 2. Once more. Knees neutral, both knees go to the right and then to the left. And to the right and to the left. Keeping the hips exactly the same the entire time, so that the space between the ribs and the hips is equal. bend, but you're going quite deep. It's not just soft knees. And same thing, knees over to one side, knees over to the other side by letting the femur roll in the hip socket. You'll do 3 more to each side. Hold both knees in towards the chest. Hug yourself. You can go from side to side if you want. If you've missed yourself, you could really do that. I like to do that. And then push the foam roller away. To sit yourself up however you need to. You will need your pillow to sit on. So, once you're in your butterfly stretch, have your fingertips on your foam roller and just start hinging forward from the hips to where you're comfortable. And then hinging back up top. So for this one, you can look straight out in front of you at any given point. Once more like this. And then like there's a hole right in front of you that you're going to dive into. You're going to peel your head off first to dive into the hole. And then you come back up. And again, you're going to dive in there. Because you're adventurous and you want to go into it, you don't know what's in it. 2 more times. And then once more. Let's take the right leg out to the side. Once it's out to the side, you're going to point and flex the foot 5 times. And your hand doesn't have to do the thing that I do. I just always do the foot movement with my hands. Good. Keep your foot pointed. We're going to round forward where you start to dive. And then you let the foam roller go as far out as you're comfortable with. And then you'll round back up, pushing into the arms to help you feel a stretch through your upper back. And again, you'll peel like your spice of banana peel, peeling off a wall and going forward. And then you'll round back up onto your banana wall. We're bananas now. Peel off. And back up. Once more. There's this banana song that I know. It's a fruit song. Other side. Switching legs. Pointing and flexing the foot. And then keep the foot pointed. Let's run forward a couple of times.
Did you eat a banana?
No! It's a really kid song. It's like peel the banana, something like that. Something the orange. Then you're going to use your foam roller, unless it bothers you for some reason. But it's going to go underneath your knees to support your butterfly stretch. If this doesn't help, or it's too small, or it just bothers your knees for any reason, you can just be like, bye-bye foam roller. Hand towel. Hand towel goes for the ceiling. You're going to, again, grab the edges and pull apart lightly so that the elbows are soft. Let the shoulder blades pull up so much that the lower abdomen drops in. Keep the abs like that as the shoulder blades pull back down. And again, lift. See if you could draw the abs in even more. And then shoulders down. Just letting the shoulder blades move up and down the back. pulling the shoulder blades apart while they're still down, but your abs stay drawing in. We're gonna lift up and over to one side and back to center. The top hand reaches for the ceiling. The other one is like punching for the opposite wall. And back to center. That's gonna help you stay tall and lifted so that when we go up and over, we lengthen more throughout side and we don't crunch and collapse down. We want to stay really tall, so you punch to the wall, and you can punch to the ceiling or where the ceiling meets the wall. Good. Apparently we're punching today. Couple more to each side. And last set. Good. Then we're going to twist. Before we twist, we bend the elbows once so that the towel taps the top of our head, and then back up to the ceiling. Soft elbows twist to one side, and then back to center. Twist over to the other side, and back to center. Good. So your elbows are pulling apart. Usually this movement comes from the rib cage. And if you have the foam roller underneath your knees, that's going to help you keep your knees in place so that you're really stable through your pelvis. And it feels like your hips are staying connected in the same spot. Good. Then you take your arms in front, shoulders wide, and you keep twisting. As you twist to one side, pull that same hand back to help you twist. And the other one. Couple more to each side. One more to each side, stay tall. Okay. You can come out of there however you need to. We're going to finish with the foam roller underneath your feet. So, place it down by your feet. On your back. Once you have your feet on your foam roller, you have options for your arms. Palms can press down, chest stays open. Hands can go behind the head to help you with your neck in any way that you need to, especially if you need to give it a little massage right now. Or you can just take the hands overhead. Then you're going to start rolling the foam roller so that you keep as much surface area of the sole of the foot on the foam roller at all times. I'm going to try and start keeping the toes on there as you roll onto the heels, and the heels on there as you roll onto the toes. Like the foot is getting glued onto the foam roller. The foam roller might start to run away. If that happens, you can always pull it back when you need to. Or if it feels like it becomes uneven, you can always pull it back and fix it. Then pull the foam roller really close to you. For this one, if you have a pillow under your head, you would need to get it out. You can have a little bit of a towel under the neck, just very lightly rolled. Hands firmly pressing into the mat. Squeezing the glutes to tuck your pelvis and lifting up through the hips. As high as you are comfortable, pushing down into the feet. And then rolling back down. If you need to readjust, maybe take the foam roller away a little bit, you can do that now. Have your feet pushing in there as much as you can. Open the chest, squeeze the glutes to lift up tall. And then you'll roll back down. And feel the hamstrings work, the glutes work, the soles of the foot. Keep the arms heavy, reaching through your ears. One more time. And then you're going to straighten the legs out. Let them be about hip width apart. Turn them into each other and away from each other. 2 and 1. Arms for the ceiling. take an inhale. One can be behind the head if you need to, especially to support the back of the head. And with your exhale, you're going to sit yourself up tall. Yep, all the way up tall. And then you can, and then you can come on out of it. We'll stand up for a roll down and you'll be all done. So, roll down can be up against the wall, or it can be standing, whatever feels best for you. Taking an inhale to grow up nice and tall. Drawing the abs in. With your exhale, you round forward only as much as you can stay connected to your feet. You take an inhale, circle the arms in one direction. Take a couple of breaths here. Reverse the circles. Your inhale will prep the abs, and your exhale will bring you back up to standing. And then you guys are all done. Good job.